The arrow does not fly true because it wishes to hit the target. It flies true because the archer had the discipline to stand still when his muscles screamed to move. In the valley of the blue mist, where the mountains touched the belly of the clouds, lived a young man named Elan. Elan was fast. He was strong. He could outrun the mountain goat and out-wrestle the swiftest river salmon. But Elan had a problem that followed him like a nagging shadow. He had the heart of a hummingbird. He flitted from one task to another, full of energy but lacking the internal anchor. While the other young men of the tribe spent their mornings tending the sacred fires or sharpening flint with rhythmic, patient strokes, Elan was easily distracted. A colorful butterfly would catch his eye, and he would leave his work half-finished. A distant shout would make him drop his fishing spear. His grandfather, a man whose face was etched with as many lines as a dried riverbed, was known as Gray Talon. One evening, as the campfire crackled and the smell of roasting maize filled the air, Gray Talon called Elan to his side. "Elan," the old man said, his voice like the rustle of dry leaves. "You have the fire of the sun, but you lack the steadiness of the earth. Without the earth to hold it, fire only burns itself out." "I am fast, grandfather," Elan protested. "I can do in 1 hour what it takes the others 3. Gray Talon smiled thinly. "Speed is a gift, but discipline is a choice. Tomorrow we go to the high ridge. I will show you the secret of the stone." The next morning, before the sun had even kissed the horizon, Gray Talon led Elan to a flat, barren plateau. In the center of the plateau sat a single heavy stone, smooth and black. "Here is your task," Gray Talon said. "You will sit before this stone. You will not eat. You will not drink. You will not speak. You will simply watch the shadow of the stone move from the west to the east. If you move from your spot before the moon rises, you have failed." Elan laughed. "That is all. I thought you were going to ask me to climb the great peak or hunt the ghost cougar." "Sitting still," Gray Talon whispered, "is the hardest hunt of all." For the first 2 hours, Elan was fine. He watched the golden light crawl across the dirt. He felt the cool morning breeze, but then the sun climbed higher. The heat began to shimmer off the ground. His legs began to ache. A tiny red ant crawled onto his foot and began to explore his ankle. Elan's first instinct was to kick his leg and crush the intruder, but he remembered his grandfather's words. He took a deep breath. "Discipline is the bridge between a thought and an action," he told himself. By midday, his throat felt like it was lined with sand. His stomach growled a fierce protest. He saw a hawk circling above, and for a moment he wanted to jump up and cheer for its grace. But he stayed. He watched the shadow. It moved so slowly it seemed the world had stopped breathing. The hummingbird heart inside him began to panic. "This is a waste of time," it screamed. "You could be hunting. You could be swimming." Elan closed his eyes and focused on his breath. He imagined his breath was a heavy stone, sinking deep into his belly, anchoring him to the ground. He realized that the discomfort wasn't killing him. It was just talking to him, and he didn't have to listen. When the moon finally rose, casting a silver glow over the plateau, Gray Talon returned. Elan stood up, his joints popping like dry twigs. He was exhausted, not from running, but from the immense effort of staying still. "You have mastered the shadow," Gray Talon said. "Now you are ready to learn why." 3 moons passed. The vibrant greens of summer turned to the brittle golds of autumn, and then the white death arrived. It was a winter like no one had seen in generations. The snow fell for 10 days without stopping, bearing the lodges up to their smoke holes. The elk herds vanished into the deep timber, and the ice on the river grew so thick that even the strongest men could not break through to fish. Hunger began to prowl through the village like a wolf. The children's faces grew thin, and the laughter died out in the communal longhouse. The tribe's best hunters went out, but they returned empty-handed. "The snow is too deep," they said. "The wind is too loud. We cannot get close to the prey." Elan stood in the corner of the longhouse, watching his younger sister shiver. He felt the fire in his chest, the old impulsive fire. He wanted to run out into the storm and scream at the clouds. But then he felt the anchor. He remembered the black stone. "I will go," Elan said. The elders looked at him. "The veterans have failed, Elan. What can a boy do?" "I will not hunt with my feet," Elan replied quietly. "I will hunt with my discipline." Elan dressed in his thickest furs and stepped out into a world of blinding white. The cold was a physical blow, a frozen fist that tried to knock the breath from his lungs. He didn't run. He didn't rush. He moved with a slow, disciplined rhythm. Step, breathe, look, step, breathe, look. He trekked for miles until he reached the whispering pines, a dense grove where the wind was slightly muffled. He found what he was looking for, the faint, frozen indentation of a deer's hoof. But the deer was not there. Elan knew that if he chased the deer, the noise of his snowshoes on the crusty ice would warn the animal miles away. He had to do the unthinkable. He had to wait for the deer to come to him. He found a spot downwind of a small clearing where the bark of the trees had been nibbled. He sat. He sat for 1 hour. The snow began to cover his shoulders. He sat for 3 hours. His fingers lost their feeling. He sat for 6 hours. The old hummingbird heart tried to wake up. "Go home," it whispered. "You will freeze to death. This is impossible." But Elan went back to the plateau. He visualized the black stone. He turned his mind into a cold, clear lake. He didn't fight the cold. He accepted it. He became part of the forest. To any animal passing by, he was just another snow-covered stump. Suddenly, a flicker of movement. A massive buck, its antlers like the branches of an oak tree, stepped cautiously into the clearing. It stopped, sniffing the air. Its ears flicked, listening for the slightest sound. Elan's heart hammered against his ribs. This was the blood fever, the rush of excitement that makes a hunter's hands shake. In the past, Elan would have drawn his bow immediately and missed, but the disciplined Elan waited. He waited as the buck took 1 step, 2 steps, 3. He waited until the animal turned its side to him, exposing the vital spot behind the shoulder. Slowly, so slowly, it looked like the growing of a plant. Elan raised his bow. His muscles protested. The cold made his joints ache. But his mind was a ruler, commanding his body to obey. Release. The arrow flew true. It didn't fly on luck. It flew on the thousands of moments of stillness Elan had practiced. When Elan dragged the sled back into the village, laden with enough meat to feed the people for weeks, there were no cheers at first, only silence and awe. They saw not just a hunter, but a man who had been forged in the fire of self-control. Gray Talon stepped forward. He placed a hand on Elan's shoulder. "The mountain did not give you this gift," the old man said. "The deer did not give you this gift. You gave it to yourself when you chose to master your own spirit." From that day on, Elan was no longer the boy who chased butterflies. He became the teacher. He taught the children that discipline is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it grows. The hardest battle is internal. It is easier to fight an enemy than to fight your own laziness. Small wins lead to big victories. Sitting still for a stone gave him the power to save his tribe from the snow. As the years passed, Elan's story was told around every fire. He left behind 5 simple rules for a disciplined life, which the tribe called the path of the anchor. 1. The rule of the morning. Rise before the sun and find 1 moment of silence. 2. The rule of the half finished. Never leave a task until it is done, no matter how small. 3. The rule of the breath. When angry or afraid, count 10 breaths before speaking. 4. The rule of the body. Eat to live, do not live to eat. Exercise even when the limbs are heavy. 5. The rule of the why. Remember who you are working for, your family, your tribe, your future. Elan lived to be an old man, even older than Gray Talon. He saw his grandchildren grow up in a valley of plenty. He watched them practice their archery and their weaving. One day, a young boy came to him, crying because he couldn't get his carving right. He had thrown his tools in the dirt in frustration. Elan picked up the tool and handed it back to the boy with a gentle smile. "Do you see the river, little one?" Elan asked, pointing to the water carving its way through the canyon. Yes, grandfather. The river is not stronger than the rock. The river is simply more disciplined. It never stops. It doesn't get frustrated. It just keeps flowing, one drop at a time, until the rock has no choice but to give way. The boy took the tool. He took a deep breath. He sat down and began again. And in that moment, Elan knew that the greatest hunt was over. He had passed on the secret of the stone. For discipline is not the absence of desire, it is the mastery of it. It is the quiet power that turns a hummingbird into an eagle and a boy into a legend.